So Chelsea, I was thinking the big message I'm going to share with these kids today at the juvenile hall, they need to understand these two big lessons. One, they're responsible for every single decision they make moving forward, and they can't blame it on being a victim or they grew up as a circumstance. You know, this was part of their circumstance, or this was part of their lifestyle, or they grew up in this chaos and drug use and abuse and all that, because today they can make a decision. And the other one is that they wake up every morning with an option of one of two shirts they can wear. And what got them into the prison system now is that they kept choosing the shirt that says, "What can you do for me?" And so starting tomorrow morning, I want them to wake up and wear the shirt that says, "How can I serve you?" And if they realize that they have direct responsibility of every single action they take, and that they can put on a shirt every morning that says, "How can I serve you?" versus "What can you do for me?" they're going to have a fulfilling life and not come back into the prison system. So it was interesting that when we got there, we were told it was going to be boys and girls between the ages of 13 and 17. And right as we were going up the staircase and had already given up our wallets and IDs and cell phones and couldn't bring anything with us, apparently some of these kids are, you know, if you leave anything out on that table, they're going to swipe it. And so we had to leave everything behind with the security. But anyway, the warden said that it's only girls that I'm talking to. And I wasn't quite prepared for that, because I thought it was going to be boys and girls. But very quickly, once I saw them all filing in, all wearing their gray hoodie, sweatshirt, black pants, black shoes. Some of them had tattoos. I saw this one girl who had a pistol tattooed on the back of her ear. She was probably 14, 15 years old. And all I could see is, in every single one of them, is my daughter, Chloe, just a few years older. Just beautiful little girls, and, you know, just had taken a path that maybe wasn't the best path for them. Maybe they didn't have an alternative choice. Maybe they were forced into it, as we found out later. But you know what? The armor came off pretty quickly, because I couldn't help but just open up with, I know you guys seem tough and have seen some shit, but all I see is a room full of girls who could be my daughter, like Chloe. When I told my story of adversity and how I grew up in this country eating out of dumpsters, and English was a second language for me, and as a young kid I was told, "Hey, go back to your own country, foreigner," I think they quickly saw that I wasn't just some guy who's supposed to be there to teach them how to be an entrepreneur or stay out of trouble, but I was the guy who could very well have ended up in their scenario. I told them about how I was involved in a police helicopter chase as a young man, and I was a kid in the car trying to get away from the cops, and I wasn't able to get away. It was just through an interesting turn of events that I didn't go to juvenile hall, that I was, you know, released to my parents. So as I was wrapping up my talk to these girls at the juvenile hall, I really stressed the value of having a mentor to kind of guide them through their journey, whatever their path might be. And one of them asked, you know, "Hey, how can I get mentoring from you?" And so right then and there, we decided that we're going to launch a mentorship program for them. And so 3 times a year, we'll set dates that they can come over to my headquarters, and we'll mentor them in either finding a job, or, you know, learning a skill, or becoming an entrepreneur, great communication, really anything that I can do to help them move forward to a place of being self-sufficient, having self-worth, self-esteem, and being able to provide for themselves and not necessarily looking towards others to provide for them. But I think this is going to be a really fun process as I get to work with, you know, these young girls and hopefully young boys who are in the juvenile system, and help them become entrepreneurs and see how they evolve from that mentality of I'm a victim and I'm being processed as a criminal to I'm someone who's adding value to society and to the world. I think that's going to do a lot for their self-esteem and self-worth, and ultimately that's really what it's about.